Hi, guys. Welcome back to Two Girls, One Bong.
The podcast that's better if you're stoned, and I will start an argument for no reason if you're not. My name is MacDizzle.
I'm Joya. Let's
Let's dive
dive
on
on in.
we were just chatting before we started recording that so our topic today is church corruption. And I was reading a
Ugh.
couple articles that our producer Dev had sent over to us, and it got me a little fired up. And so, in that state of being a little fired up, my boyfriend was like, "I have to go to work today," and that didn't hit my ear correctly. The way it hit my ear, he said, "You're a dumb bitch, and I hate you." And so from there, I we like just kept talking, and I just kept being a little brat, and then it escalated, and we got in a fight. And so Joy she said, "So the next time he says he needs to go to work today, what are we going to say?" I said, "I love that for you. Have fun."
I'm dying because it was like literally like I'm going to go to work to earn money to live and exist. It wasn't
And that was a
like
problem for
I'm going to
me.
go to the strip club to throw money
No,
on
I know,
bitches.
literally, like he's just going to go make some money, and I have a problem. So let me tell you some backstory of why that hit my ear wrong. Okay.
Okay.
How do I phrase this? Recently, having some
Yeah.
trouble regulating my emotions, right? I've taken a bit of a step back from drinking. So I'm trying to do it like not necessarily like just not drinking ever, but trying to do it a lot less frequently.
Yeah.
More like a once or twice a month type thing.
I love
And
that
because
for
of
you.
that, yeah, and because of that, I'm fucking
Yeah.
bored. I'm so
Yeah.
fucking bored all the fucking time. Like I have nothing to do. I just sit at home and play Call of Duty. I'm so fucking
Right.
bored. And so when he's not home, I'm like, I have to sit at
Bored.
home and be sober
Yeah.
and just try
Be
not to
alone
eat
with my own
like literally
thoughts.
and one of my biggest things is when I'm bored, I eat. Like if I can't drink,
Mhm.
I'm a eat. And so I'm in
Yeah.
this place where I'm like, I'm trying not to overeat. I'm trying not to drink. I'm trying to stay entertained. And if he's not here, how the fuck am I supposed to do that?
I
You know?
completely understand. Because yeah, I mean, changing habits is already hard. Even if it's
Yes.
even if it's a simple fucking habit, like that has nothing to do with like raising your mood, which again,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol raising anybody's, raising our mood is like
Is a
a
problem.
whole thing in it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I completely understand, like, yes, trying to change bad habits, that's already a frustrating thing, that's hard to do. And then having to just I also completely understand the boredom thing. Adam is doing his barbecue competition this weekend. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but
You did talk
he's
about it a little bit, I think.
yeah, he's doing the barbecue competition this weekend, and so he's going to be there all weekend. He leaves tomorrow. He's like staying in a like an RV. My neighbor has an RV. I don't know what the fuck this guy does for work, but he owns his home alone. He's our age and he has an RV.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. Oh my god, imagine. Oh my god, imagine I just found out like Ty has
He
just like a
uses the
massive
RV for
cock.
OnlyFans.
Ew, no. Anyway, they are going tomorrow afternoon and then he's going to be gone all weekend. I'm going to go see him periodically. It's not that far away, but I was just like
What am I gonna
uh,
do?
like
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
hands. So I completely understand the boredom thing, but also I'm so proud of you for like taking a step back from drinking. I know the thing is, I know we've talked about this because the association of drinking with having fun, I feel like just makes it more like
And
that's
it's
what I was
so
telling. Go ahead.
socially acceptable.
Yeah, totally. Oh my god.
That's
I mean,
also part of it.
you could pick it up on any fucking corner. You can't
Literally
get it here in
anywhere.
Texas on Sundays. Liquor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
anyway,
before we dive into church corruption, let me talk about my drinking. So, I'm the kind of gal who she wants to take a drink and then 400 more. She doesn't know
yes.
when to stop. And so that's
Yeah.
kind of where I first started to like try to make a change. I said, "Okay, we're going to figure out how to stop, right? We're going to figure out
Yeah. To
no."
have that
So, I
limit.
actually yeah, so in the last 16 days, I think I've gone out once. I went out once with Rajul and I drank and I came home and I had alcohol here. I had like a White Claw Surge and I was like,
Oh,
as soon as I
those
got
are
home,
fucking gnarly. Those are
girl,
so gnarly.
girl,
completely different than a
Yes.
regular White Claw.
Yo, those things are like vodka in a can. I swear to
Yeah,
God, it's
yeah, yeah,
wild.
yeah.
So I popped that open and I was like sipping on it and drinking it throughout the night. And then I was like kind of looking at it. I was like, all right, 5-second urge, go pour this out right now. And I just like
Did you do
got
it?
up and like sprinted to the bathroom and I poured it out. And
Aw.
then I looked and it was empty and I was like kind of sad, but I was like, you did a good thing. You did a good thing.
Oh my God, it's so funny too how the
Yeah.
brain works. You're like, it's now or never. Like right now,
Let's
let's
do
go
it
do it right
now.
now.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because right before I poured it in the sink, I took another sip. I said, like true addict
One last
behavior
hit.
right there. True
Yeah.
addict behavior. But yeah, we're making some changes. Things are going well, ish. No, they're not going well.
I know
But
it's
I
hard.
think
I
they
mean,
will eventually.
yeah, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do, especially to just like stop drinking with no like rehab or like a doctor or like some other external force that's like basically forcing you to do that.
Yeah.
Like when you're just doing it on your own, it's a hard thing to do. So I am like so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Because fortunately, I don't know if I was born with it or if I was like influenced to definitely have a limit. I don't know why my brain works that way, but I definitely know when I need to fucking stop or else I will be not. I think it's because I used to, when I first started drinking, like the first few years, I would get sick before I could even get like wasted. I've still never really blacked out in my life, like just off of
That's
alcohol.
a gene thing. You know, you have to have the gene to black out, and it's a lot of
Really?
alcoholics pass that gene down. Yeah, I have alcoholics on both my sides, and I black out all the fucking time.
See, I also have alcoholics on both sides. Well, I guess I shouldn't say, I guess not my dad's side, more my mom's side.
Yeah,
But
no, both.
yeah.
We're
Well,
running
yeah.
hard.
I know. I was always told when I was little that like you have to be careful, which is crazy because like my mom still drank all the time. She wasn't like, a liquor
She was just a wine
drunk all
lady. She just wanted to drink
Yeah.
some wine.
She just wanted to drink her wine, but sometimes it was quite a bit of wine.
Yeah, no, I
And-
understand. When my mom and her cousins get together, it's like 8 bottles. It's so much wine.
Dude, yeah. And then I'm sure I've told you the story about the year that my mom passed away, the Christmas after, my dad had this wine bottle that was 3 or 4 feet tall that they
To
cracked
himself?
open. No.
Oh.
Christmas Eve. My whole family got into it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine.
Whoa, that's one way to deal with
Like,
grief, I guess.
he
My
was so
God.
depressed.
I drank a
Um,
3-foot bottle of wine.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
I respect that.
Yeah, just in general, drinking is like it's become way too socially acceptable and it's killing all of us.
Well, and I think that a lot of people tread a line of having a problem with alcohol. I could happily admit that I do have a problem with alcohol. I am an alcoholic. I don't think in the sense of like I need to be abstinent from this thing forever. I
yeah.
feel like I do have the tools, the resources, and the support system to be able to go out and enjoy this every now and then.
And have it under control.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. And as long as it's not like doing negative, like I feel like, so I've actually had a problem with alcohol for a really long time. I used to get DUIs and all that.
Right.
This is not an alcohol episode. We are going to talk about church corruption. But I, as a person who has been arrested, 3 of the 4 times I've been arrested, I was drunk. So there's obviously an issue that I have with alcohol, and the way that I heard it defined in Alcoholics Anonymous and all these alcohol classes that I had to take because I got in trouble, and they make you go in those classes when you get in trouble.
Yeah.
They basically said when your habit starts to affect your life or somebody else's life in a negative way, that's when it's an addiction or a problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so for me, I was like, you're high. I'm fine. I'm fucking 23. I like to go out and party. But that behavior kind of just extended all the way to now. Well, not obviously not the drinking and driving anymore, but
right.
The other stuff, like the consistent drinking as a form of like feeling better or numbing or having fun.
And also you get so sick sometimes on your hangovers. That's a factor that I would consider like to be affecting you.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it has absolutely affected my life in a negative way, and I just never really, because the way I saw it is I wasn't hurting anyone else. I wasn't affecting anybody else negatively. And so I was like, this isn't,
you're not like,
you know what I mean? Because I had a friend when we were living together. I'm not talking about Koala, okay? Because everyone always assumes when I say I had a friend I lived with, I'm talking about her. Let me clarify right now, I'm not.
Yeah.
I had a friend who would do Xanax a lot. Her name was Joya.
Mm.
Just kidding. I
Shut
had
up.
a friend who would do Xanax a lot at a certain point in her life. And she had a fake front tooth. And I remember one time she was on Xanax and she was at the grocery store and her tooth had fallen out and she couldn't find it. And she
Oh,
called
fuck.
me and she's like, look, I can't go into work without this tooth. I could hear in her voice that she was fucked up too. Like I kind of knew
Yeah.
what she was
You can
doing at the time.
always tell with the people you're close to.
And so at that moment I was like, yes, friend, I'm gonna give you this money to get you your tooth, but I need you to take a real look at your life right now because now this little habit that you have has affected me. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be selfish or hurtful, but I want you to know, like,
Things are happening for you to have to reach out for help.
yes, like you're having friends help you out of your little drug addled mind state. And that's when
Yeah.
when I feel like it's a really, really serious problem when you're starting to affect other people with your behavior. Like, I'm super
Definitely.
self-destructive, so I'm like, yeah, destroy yourself all you want. It's
Yeah.
so fine. And so I've kind of had to realize that I am also a human being and
Yes,
I
you
matter.
are. And you are the
I
most important person to you. Like, you have to take
yeah,
care of yourself
yeah,
first.
exactly. So
Oh,
cheers to that. Cheers to anybody who's trying to take a step back from the ye old alcohol. I'm here with you. I'm not stopping drinking. You're gonna see me lit on the story again someday, but know that I'm doing it with a better head on my shoulders and I'm thinking
yeah.
about things a lot more prior.
I'm so proud of you. I know we've discussed
Thanks.
this before, but
Yeah.
I am just so I love you so much. I wish I
Thank
could
you. Thank you. Thank you.
give you, give you a kiss.
Let's take a bong rip instead.
Yeah.
How's that?
Hang on one second. Hold on.
I know we're supposed to do the
Dude.
bong rip at the very beginning of the video, but I apologize.
That's yeah.
What were
I
you
mean, I
duding
hope
me?
everyone's okay with that. Dude, I cleaned my office yesterday for the first time in like fuck. I do not know how long it's been since I like it's still there's still some boxes in here like of like things that need to get hung up on the wall or like office supplies and shit like that, but I in general cleaned my office yesterday and I feel incredible.
Do you just love spending time in there now?
I mean, yeah, it only happened. I mean, when I opened the door this morning to come in here,
You said
I had this, oh my God, I had this moment of just like like
feeling my house is
bliss.
clean. That's how I feel.
Yes,
And I feel like
I
my house is
know.
usually a pretty good indication of where my mental health is at.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And
Because
I'm
it's not in
definitely,
shambles. It's not in shambles.
yeah,
It's not
it's
great.
just,
But there's a little
that's
mess
how,
here and there.
I mean, that's how I kind of feel about, I mean, there's like definitely boxes and stuff, but the floor is
A
mostly
couple rooms are
clean.
clean. A
Yeah.
couple rooms are clean. There's some areas of the brain that are okay.
Some areas of the brain.
Emotional regulation needs a little work. We'll call that the kitchen.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my God.
All right.
All right. So the church. You were raised in the church. I was raised in the church. You were raised Catholic, right?
I was raised Catholic in big quotation marks. My parents never took me to church. I still have never been to church with either the first time I was ever in a church with my dad was my mom's funeral.
Oh wow.
Like they never took me to church. They said we were
They
said
put
we
you in
were
an
Catholic.
all-girls Catholic school.
No, I
They said that's
actually
enough
asked to
church.
go there.
Oh, you
I asked
to go to that one?
Yeah, they gave me the choice. They said I could go to the public school or I could go to St. Lucy's. And I said, I made a big girl decision. And I said, I'll go to St. Lucy's because it's better academically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I
That
cared.
wouldn't be me. I said
Yeah.
there's no boys? No.
Oh, yeah. No, I had plenty of, I was having sex by the time I got to high school, but I had already, we've talked about this. Don't act
That's
shocked.
crazy to me. That's still so crazy for me to hear because like it wasn't until I was a sophomore. Or I
Right.
guess I was a freshman, but it was like towards the very end of my freshman year after I've been with my boyfriend for 8 months.
Yeah. I had also, the boy that I lost my virginity to, I was with for a long time, but
Mm-hmm.
as a fucking 13-year-old, I was with him for like a year. I like met at like
We met at the park.
12 something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. We met through like family, actually.
What?
But yeah, I was already like, I wasn't concerned with the
Mm-hmm.
because there was a boys' school, so it's like we could, there
Yeah.
was interactions with boys. Plus, like, like, I already had like a pretty big network of like,
I
like
also
on
think that you were
MySpace
really
and stuff.
good. I think that you were really good at being friends with girls too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
was. And
have that.
well, the all-girls school actually made that
Made it a lot
much better
stronger.
for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, definitely. There was, okay, let me tell you something. I hope I haven't said this already in the last few weeks. Recently, a colleague of mine, somebody that I work with, asked me in front of a group if I was in a sorority. And I said, "Put your fucking hands up right
Was I there
now."
for that?
No, you weren't. You weren't.
I feel like I have heard this though.
Well, people, I do not understand. She was like, because I was like, "Put your fucking hands up, bitch! Like we're fighting." Like, no, I was not in a fucking sorority. But
I hate to
she was
say it,
like,
Joya.
it's the sisterhood thing. I'm very
You
like,
also are just like super peppy, fun, energetic girl, and I could just imagine you being like the head lady who like welcomes the little new ones in.
no, I lead the weird, creepy
Guys,
song chant
I think
thing.
I think a lot of what people think when they think of sororities, they don't think of like the really gross, ugly side of it. And so when I think of sorority and I think of you, I think of like the fun, bubbly, like, oh my god, yes, girls, ah. But when I think of other people in sororities, I'm like, ew, sluts, fucking
See,
whores.
yeah, I do, and that's what because afterwards I was like, I did go to an all-girls school, high school, and she was like, "That is totally it."
Mm,
And that makes sense, I guess. I am
yeah,
definitely like a high energy person sometimes. And I am a girl's girl, so that's fair. But man, I
whatever.
was really offended in that moment. I was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" And in front of this whole group of people right now, what the fuck?
It's like she compared you to Hitler. You said,
Yeah,
whoa,
that's
whoa,
what I
whoa, whoa,
felt.
whoa,
I was
whoa.
like, "Excuse me, I'm not part of that fucking weird ass club that you're talking about." Anyway,
Okay, so let me I'm not trying to pick on any churches. They're all, first of all,
bad.
let me just preface. Let me preface. If
Yeah.
you are a person who is devout in their faith and you love Jesus and you go to church and that brings you joy, fuck yes. 10 out of 10. I love that for you. I hope that you're not one of those people who stands with signs saying God hates gays, because
Or
those are
any
the
other fucking sign
you
that
know,
says God hates anything because God doesn't hate anything, allegedly.
I thought he stood for love.
Period.
That's anyway, so that being said, I am a person who was raised in the church, and I just, after being told so many things and believing so many things as a child, and then growing up and finding out that a lot of those things were just categorically untrue. I'm not talking about gospel stories or anything like that. I'm talking about like actual things that are just categorically untrue. I have a hard time reconciling with that.
Yeah.
And so I have a little bit of
Trusting that
beef.
source.
I
Yeah.
have a little bit of beef. I got to be honest. I do have a little bit of beef. So that's what you're going to be hearing from me, is some of that beef.
Yeah, and I think it's also good to point out the difference between the church as
And faith.
any church, as an entity, as an organization, as a money fucking
Which
as a
that's exactly what
bank.
they are. If somebody opens
Yeah.
a church, it is a business. Let's be very fucking clear. It is a
A
tax exempt
business
business.
that doesn't have to pay taxes.
A
So yeah,
tax-
that's what I was going to say. It's important to differentiate between the church and modern day organized religion, and even, old organized religion. And we were talking about some religions that started a long time ago. Then also the belief system
Yeah, there's
that
faith
at its
and then
core.
there's church. I respect people's faith so much.
Yeah.
So much. Like profoundly. I respect your faith. I
Yeah.
respect your whatever. I do
Yeah.
not respect money hoarders and selfish, greedy,
And child molesters.
evil people. I don't.
Yeah.
Those people I have a problem with, and you cannot sit here and tell me that the church is not filled with them. It is unfortunate, but it is true.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was reading. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that there's people of every religion who capitalize on
Yes.
people's beliefs and vulnerability and use it
Yes.
to use them,
Absolutely.
make money, exploit them, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely. And you're not going to hear me speaking ill about Judaism or Islam or Buddhism because I don't know anything about those faiths. I do have a fair share of knowledge about Christianity, Catholicism, because there's a lot of crossover. Mormonism, there's a lot of crossover um, in faith, and I actually do have a lot of knowledge about the the Mormon religion. Um, and so
What is
if
that?
it feels like I'm, what's that?
Why is that?
I
Did you
grew
know
up with a lot
Mormons
of
growing
Mormon
up?
kids. I grew up
Okay,
with a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
Mormon kids. Yeah, I had a lot of Mormon kids on my soccer teams, and I watched a documentary on actually on Scientology, which was super fucking crazy. But I've also watched a
Ooh.
documentary on Mormonism. It was just something that really interested me because I saw the play, The Book of Mormon,
Uh-huh,
on
which I
Broadway.
heard is hilarious.
And the Mormons love that
I
play
heard
too.
it's
Like
so good.
everyone loves that play. It's really good.
Really?
So I remember watching that and being like, and I had so many questions, and I was like, I need to.
Yeah.
This is this a satire? No, it is actually totally wholeheartedly fucking true what they're saying in that play. Like that is true. That's what they
Yeah.
believe. So it's if I sound overly critical about one side of religion, it's because I only feel comfortable talking about this side and not the others. I'm sure there's problems
Yeah,
with every other faith. I don't know
yeah.
about them. So I
I
just
just
wanted to
had the
preface
thought
that.
of like, do you remember that? I don't know if you watched that documentary called Wild Wild Country. It was
Mm,
it's a cult or whatever, but it's not a
okay.
Christian cult. It's more, I don't know but the guy is from India, the head, like the leader, but I don't know if it was Hindu beliefs or some other type of religion, but it was
Mhm.
they took they told these people, come be part of our religion, but give us all your money and all your stuff. And then the guy had like
Sounds
30 Rolls
familiar.
Royces. Yeah. He had like 30
Oh,
Rolls.
okay.
Yeah.
That's how many Rolls Royces you need, though. If you're gonna get a Rolls Royce, you can't get
You need
one. You need
30.
30
Yeah.
minimum. He barely scratched the minimum.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
I was also going to say too, just hearing you talk about just being interested. I took a world religions class when I was in
Mhm.
high school, and it was like a semester long because we took a different religion class every semester, and one of mine was world religion, so we learned all about many religions, and I actually still have the book, and I'm never getting rid of it because I feel like it completely changed my like perspective on things.
Mhm.
I like learned about so many more I mean, wasn't like, I really was not dialed in and like I was not religious at this time. So
Most
maybe,
I was gonna say the most popular religions all have a very common theme of misogyny.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, all three, I would
yeah.
say those are the biggest
Well,
3.
they're the only monotheistic, maybe not the only, but the
Mhm.
three main
Mhm. Mhm.
monotheistic
Yeah.
religions. And in every religion, the God is a man. So
And the
he's a
women
he.
in Jewish churches, I don't know if this is true anymore, but they sit separately and they're not supposed to look at them, and I think there's like a curtain in
That might
between,
be like a
like a
traditional,
really
like,
traditional, like Hasidic type.
yeah.
Women aren't even allowed to be Hasidic Jews.
Wow.
I've
See,
never
yeah,
seen
there
a
you go.
female Hasidic Jew. Have I? I don't want to speak wrong, so correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. I'm not
They
trying to
probably just
disparage
can't
anyone,
be.
but I'm just trying to say
Um,
misogyny is ripe within religion.
yeah,
Ripe.
I'm sure that they're able to be. Yeah, they're able to be Hasidic. I'm sure that they are just not.
Discouraged.
No, no, no. I think they're probably just not allowed to be like leaders.
Oh. Oh, speaking of, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but there is a church here in California. It's called Saddleback. It is one of the biggest
Yep,
churches in the fucking country.
you can
Like
see it
multi,
from the
it's
five
huge. I've been
freeway.
to the church. My mom's best friend Kathleen used to go to that church, and they used to drag us there, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah,
Hated the church.
it's
Huge,
giving
massive.
the what's the word that they call televangelist?
Yes,
Like
it was
huge, ginormous. Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Like I want to try to like the size of the White House. Like
Let's see.
huge fucking church, gigantic,
I'm gonna look up
multi-billion
Saddleback
dollar
seat count.
facility. So they that church, Christian churches are part of like this sector or group, I guess. And I don't remember what it's called, but basically this group that's not in charge of the churches, but all the churches are a part of this,
Uh
has
huh.
denounced Saddleback and kicked them out because they made a female pastor,
Oh
a female
my
preacher.
god.
They chose a woman to be the preacher, And so this
I thought
church
Saddleback was
group,
in the hot seat for a bad reason. That's a great reason to be in the hot seat.
yeah, no. So that's what's crazy is they kicked him out because they have a woman preaching. Yeah, because he
Wow.
can't speak the word of God. He doesn't want that. He wants it
Oh
to come out
my
of
God.
men's lips only. There
That
must be a
is
mustache on the lip that speaks of Jesus.
oh my God.
Yeah,
The,
so that's that.
that's
Isn't
crazy.
that just? And it's 2023.
Oh,
It's
is it
2023.
Southern? Oh no, that's not it.
It was like the
Damn.
it's like the big organization for churches. They're like, no, we condemn them.
Yeah, I
Boo,
don't
boo,
know.
women, boo.
Um, Southern Baptist
Convention.
is it? It says convention here, but
I don't think
Southern
it's a convention. I think convention can also just mean like a group of
that's the
churches.
event that they put on.
And they
The
said they're not allowed
SB
to
Oh
go
yeah.
anymore.
The SBC, yeah, so Southern Baptist Convention. It's they're the second largest congregation. Saddleback is.
Yeah, huge.
That's crazy. It says it's
Because
the biggest church in California and one of the biggest
it
in the
is.
US.
It is the biggest. It is the biggest church in California. It is fucking. I don't know how to describe it. Like you can fit thousands of people inside of that thing, and
I just
just the
looked it
worship
up.
hall.
Right. I just looked it up and it said 3,000, but then it said they're trying to
Expand
they
that.
yeah, let me see. Cuz
No, because that doesn't
3,000
even
is not
include
like
because there's a whole Sunday school sector too,
un-
where all the kids go.
oh, this is
There's an
Southern
entire different buildings for that. I remember because there's the worship building where all the adults go, and then they had an entirely separate part for the Bible study for the kids.
Okay, so this is like, yeah, I think the seating actually is like around 3,500, but they
Mm-hmm.
serve almost 25,000 people
Yeah,
weekly. So
yeah.
like with each,
Because they have more than one service. They have a 9 a.m.
right.
service, a fucking 12 p.m.
Yeah,
one, So
yeah,
it's so
totally.
many fucking people there, bro.
That's
Um,
crazy. I thought they did something bad. When you said that there
no,
was
no,
like a
no, no.
scandal, I thought they did something bad, but
Oh
that's
no, we're
crazy.
not
Good for
mad at
them.
Saddleback is evil and fucking terrible for its own reasons,
Right,
obviously.
right.
But like, good on them
And
for putting a woman in
probably
preaching
fuck
and
that
getting in
bitch
trouble.
too. She probably sucks
She's
too,
fucking
but
terrible. Let's be
yeah.
real, but women gotta stand with women. I mean, she got the part.
Yeah.
Okay, but that.
Wow.
So there's that,
Dang.
and then I was also reading about the Mormon Church, how they have $100 billion sitting in a like an account that they use for like investments and shit. Okay, get this,
Yeah.
get this. The Vatican tried to buy a plot of land and turn it into 49 luxury apartments. Yeah,
Not the
they're trying.
Vatican getting into real estate.
The Vatican is flipping houses, honey. Okay, so
They're running out of money. People aren't donating anymore. People aren't
no, they
tithing
shouldn't
anymore.
be. No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So the tithe is more or less this $100 billion that the Mormon Church has accumulated, and they've done it under the guise because tithe for Mormon people, I believe, is like 10% of their wealth forever.
Damn.
Yeah, they're supposed to donate 10% of like whatever they make to the Mormon
Damn.
Church. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because Uncle Sam has taken 20. So yeah,
On
what the
top
fuck?
of taxes? Yeah, I'm
Like
like, what the
what the hell?
fuck, dude?
So
That's
yeah, they're
crazy.
taking your taxed money to put in the untaxed church. Anyways, so they have $100 billion. So some person who used to work with their investment accounts blew the whistle on this and was like, they are not,
Oh my
because the
God.
rules for it are so like, how people like tiptoe the rules so that they're not actually breaking the
Yes.
rules, but it's actually
Yes.
completely fucking
Loopholes.
immoral.
Yeah.
That's more or less kind of what's happening here. I think maybe they broke like a rule or two, but there is no reason that they can't hoard $100 billion. Like there's nothing saying that they can't do that, I don't think. So what I'm saying is the people who are a part of this church and they're tithing and giving all this money for them to now hoard are doing this under the impression that I think that this money is going to build schools, churches, houses,
Feed
feed
hungry
people,
people.
help children,
Yeah.
like the things that the church swears that it stands for.
But clearly it's
I
not. It's just sitting in a fucking bank account somewhere.
Because here's the fucking thing, like I feel like
Wow.
when you start treating a church like a business, you completely lose sight of what Jesus even wanted. Like these houses of worship that are so extravagant and and just ornate and insanely expensive. I don't think Jesus wanted that.
He didn't. He literally said anywhere that 2 people or more gather is a house of worship. Can be your
Thank you.
garage, a fucking under
A
a fucking
field.
tree. Yeah, literally like anywhere. So
You can FaceTime each other and have a house of worship in the fucking
totally.
meta space.
Yeah.
Like,
Not in the
please.
fucking, what are they calling that? What is
The
it?
metaverse. The metaverse.
Metaverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the biggest hypocrisy of all. Like Jesus literally was like, I'm broke, all my friends are broke, and I like it that way. People with too much money, people with, everybody just needs to be sharing that shit. And people with too
No,
much
and
money
like,
are innately sinful. Like you're withholding. You have more of this so that somebody else can have none. And that
yes.
is
And when I
so
walk,
far against what anything they preach.
I remember I was at a church for my Aunt Sandy's funeral, and it was a Catholic service at the church. And
Mm-hmm.
was at a Catholic church, and it was a multi-million-dollar facility.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know how to explain, or like, and the only thing, and the first thing that comes to mind when I see that, I was like, oh, it's a means to launder money, more or less, because they can just say that they're paying for all of these things. Maybe they aren't as nice as it looks. Maybe it's like fake granite, whatever it might be. Like maybe they're using all these huge tack or numbers to be like, oh, we spent all this money on the church, when I bet that's not
Yeah.
actually even fucking true. But also secondarily, even if you are actually spending all that money on building a church, why don't you let homeless people stay there?
Yeah. Why don't you build? Yeah, absolutely. A shelter. Yeah.
Who was
Why
one
don't you?
guy,
Yeah.
Justin Neal or someone, Austin, who was like the guy who had the church in Texas when it was freezing over?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember his name. I think
Texas church say no
it's a
during
mega church.
freeze.
It's huge. His name's like Neil
Is
something.
it Joel Olstein?
Joel Osteen. Yes. Neil, Joel, whatever. Olstein, Neil.
And
It's
yeah,
fine.
during
There,
Hurricane Harvey, but allegedly this says fact check. It was open to text. It was open, but
was it though?
I don't know. Closed his to those suffering. Yeah, this says the claim is that it was closed, but it doesn't matter because whether or not Joel Olstein did this one time, Joel Olstein is a piece of fucking shit,
Piece of fucking
and
shit.
so are all the other people like him. I watch the news, I watch cable, but sometimes he'll come on Sundays. I mean, I don't watch him, but like we came home one day and it was on, and he was saying, one of my friends, he was down in the dumps. He was really struggling financially, and
I told him to
I told him,
pray.
bitch. And I told
If
him,
I'm
have
struggling
faith and
financially, if
pray.
someone tells me to pray, I'm hitting them in the mouth.
Period. Well, no, then he goes, and after a good long, I don't fucking know, weeks, months, whatever, he now finds himself successful in his business. His business is thriving. I'm like,
Well, it was a couple months.
I'm like, literally, what are you even fucking talking about? Because praying, I wonder, I wonder if praying for some people maybe creates like this mental binding contract that like if I pray for this,
He has
then
to
if
do
I
it.
well, I was gonna say like that makes them more likely to do what they need to do
It's kind of like
to
manifesting
hold
in its
up
own
their
kind of
end.
way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are asking for something every day from a greater power and you aren't doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, it's not going to happen. But if you're
Yeah.
praying every day and you are also doing everything you're supposed to be doing and
It'll
taking all those
probably
steps,
happen.
most likely you're going to get what you're asking for.
Yeah, you might
So,
get a little lucky here and there. Everybody
yeah.
gets a little lucky here and there. I want you to know
Yep.
that it's not uniquely a God thing. I get
Yeah.
lucky all the
Yeah.
time. I didn't go to jail when I got arrested.
Period. She didn't get
So
arrested for
lucky.
meth. Yes.
Unlucky to get pulled over. Lucky to be free.
Period.
But oh my god, I was watching a TikTok. I feel like I talked about this maybe a couple months ago, but there was this TikTok about this preacher who was talking about he was standing in line at Home Depot and there was a transgender woman in front of him.
Oh God, I'm not ready for this.
And so, trigger warning, I'm going to be repeating the things that he says, and a lot of them are very fucking disgusting and hurtful things. I will not be using any slurs, but know that I'm going to be repeating his words. And I don't remember them exactly, but I do remember he thought it was just an ugly woman at first. Is that he thought it was just a really ugly lady. And then when he heard her open her mouth, that's when he knew that it was a transgendered woman. And the visceral anger and hate that this man spewed out of his mouth for this woman just existing in the Home Depot line is fucking insane. He said something like,
Mhm.
I think he talked about possibly assaulting her because her presence ruined his day.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes. He was like, I wanted to. Oh, and then
Oh,
and then so the cashier like checked the girl out, like let her go, said, "Hey, have a great day." And then when it got to his turn in line, and the lady said, "Have a great day," he said, "I sure won't." like, like people are so fragile in their existence that somebody else living their truth ruins their day. Like how? Like
literally
how?
just existing.
I
Just
want to
running a quick
understand that.
errand. Just running a quick errand before their day starts, during the
They
day,
had to hit
whatever.
Home Depot.
Yeah, they just had to grab something really quick. You just ruined the power that woman has.
Wow.
The sheer
Wow,
power.
you're pissing men off. I want to try to find the
Period.
clip so I can see. Preacher.
Oh my God, wait, I have a TikTok I wanted to tell you about that has nothing to do with any of this. But it was a fucking, have you seen the one where this girl's doing pottery and she basically makes a hole from 1 centimeter to 10 centimeters, like showing what happens to the cervix during birth? Oh my God, I need to show it to you. Did you hear me?
Oh, I did hear you. I did hear you. I did hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you so you can see what happens to the cervix during what's it called? Anyway, I hope that woman who just made her little trip to Home Depot and pissed that guy the fuck off, I hope she's having a wonderful day.
I hope she
And I
is
hope she's having
too.
a wonderful life as well.
I hope that she is safe because there's obviously people who fucking want her dead for just going to Home Depot.
Just doing normal person things.
Like
Just,
I can't imagine that. Like that is just so insane.
I
Okay,
know.
here's where I can understand that hatred. If somebody was walking around with a KKK hood,
Yeah.
swastika, appropriate visceral reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appropriate. I understand
Yeah.
that. That's a person who stands for hatred. A person who stands f- for racism. Just the worst things.
The
This
worst
woman
the
just
worst things in the fucking world, literally.
this woman
Yeah.
just wants to live her little woman day.
Yeah.
You know?
This
Live her
woman
little
just
woman
wants to
day.
live her little woman day.
Like fucking
Yeah.
A, bro. It's not hurting you. It's
Mm,
not hurting you.
yeah.
Anyway, so and that's just like that's if you are the church is putting people like that on pedestals. Obviously, there's some sections of the church who are like condemning that kind of behavior. All right, but then
Yeah.
there's so many people who go to that church and they're just like
Yeah.
in the audience.
You're like,
And I
yes,
know
get your day ruined by a complete stranger who's doing nothing. Yes.
literally doing nothing,
Yeah.
not hurting anyone, not doing anything, or unless they actually believe that transgender people are like infiltrating the youth and telling them to be trans. That they have to believe that,
Yeah,
which
I
is
think they
delusional.
yeah. I actually,
Delusion.
speaking of that, I just saw a tweet. This woman was like, people think I turned my daughter transgender. And she's like, I can't even get her to do the dishes. Like, what makes you think I can turn
What
her
makes you think she
transgender?
listens to
Like,
me? What the fuck makes
yeah,
you think she's gonna listen to
yeah,
me?
yeah,
But
yeah.
the
Shout out
church
to
in
all the
itself,
supportive parents out there.
bro, shout out. Have you seen
Yeah.
those laws that passed recently? They're restricting basically transitional care for minors.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to speak on it because I don't know enough about hormone blockers or anything of that nature, so I can't really make an educated stance on it. But I believe criminalizing that kind of stuff is a big problem.
Stupid. Yes,
It's a big
absolutely fucking
problem.
stupid.
You know, obviously, I'm all for protecting children, and putting hormone blockers in them at a young age can lead to osteoporosis or other really terrible conditions. We should do more research on that and make sure that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a bunch of adults living their truth with osteoporosis. That would fucking suck. No. you know?
Yeah,
But like I said,
definitely.
I don't know if that's just something being peddled by the right to be
Yeah.
like, oh, well, they're in danger. You know what I mean? And it probably is. And there's probably a very, very, very small number of people or children who have gone through that.
Just like there is with literally any other thing ever,
Literally,
like
that's
the
why there's trial
fucking
tests and they give you,
yeah,
remember those, when you hear a medication? Because, yeah,
yeah.
you live in America, so
You
you're used
might
to hearing
you
these
might have a
commercials.
bad headache. You might hurt in your belly. Your
No,
leg
side
might fall
effects
off.
include
You might
nausea,
die.
blacking out,
Yeah.
dying, bleeding from your anus. Like, just every side effect that you could ever imagine, they list it like
Yeah, dude, they say
at the
it
very end of the
just like
commercial.
that too. Yeah. Yep. That's funny.
Symptoms may include bleeding anus, your eyes, your lungs might drop out of your butt. Like, just
Bleeding.
everything's terrible.
Yeah.
But that's also something that's very unique to the United States. They don't allow pharmaceutical advertisements in different countries.
Yeah, I think Australia is the only other one that allows it or something, or maybe New Zealand, one of those over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely banned in like most of the world.
Yeah, because you don't need to be that should be your doctor's decision. Your doctor should have the knowledge of these drugs and be like, "Oh, there's this new drug, you should try it." It shouldn't be you going to your doctor saying, "Hey, I saw a commercial for Ozempic. I think it's good for me."
Oh, Zampic. I
Like,
literally know their
please.
jingles. Yeah, it's New
Uh,
Zealand is the only other place in the world that allows
Pharmaceutical
advertising
advertisements.
for prescription drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, these aren't things that you can even buy over the counter.
Yeah, you have to talk to your doctor about it.
Have you ever
Like,
seen an advertisement for Tylenol
yeah,
or Advil?
yeah. They do them. They do them
I've
for
never
sure.
seen. I've seen like bare back and body for like arthritis, but I've never seen just like Midol.
Or like, I haven't seen one for Midol, but I have definitely seen Tylenol and Advil and like Aleve is an over the counter for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like NyQuil. NyQuil does a lot.
Yeah. No, they definitely do advertising for that kind. It's the
And
heavier stuff.
Mucinex.
And then there's like a
they
toe
definitely
fungus
do.
one. There was a toe fungus guy who like it was a really really disgusting commercial because like you would see like all of these like bacteria dancing and like having a party and then it would like zoom out and it's like some dude's foot and it's
Dude,
like underneath his toenail.
I had one of those when I was a kid. I had a toe that was like it wasn't like I had a toe that was covered in warts around the nail area.
Oh,
I wish I
no.
had a photo of it, but
I'm
I
so glad
remember
you
like,
don't.
well, I fucking one time I went to go get a pedicure and like they were like, we're not touching that, like, and I was so embarrassed because it's not contagious, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't contagious, but I went and got when I was like 10, I think probably. I went and got it like they fucking put a shot in my toe. It hurt like a motherfucker. Like a Novocaine shot, and then they put some shit on it and they ripped the fucking nail out, and then it's been fine ever since. But it was pretty like it was
your nail just
embarrassing.
had to grow back.
Yeah, my nail just grew back. Yeah.
Oh, right.
But and the warts were gone. Like they were little teeny tiny. It wasn't like my whole toe was covered in warts. It was like only in the nail area, and they were like little teeny tiny warts. But
yeah, no, this was just curable. The thing I'm talking about, it was just a gross toenail. It's an icky toenail, bacteria toe. Me, I had a gross toe once. I played soccer for a long time, and I got an ingrown toenail, and I didn't do anything about it for like a year.
Oh, ouch.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even play by the end of the year. I was like having a hard time walking.
In cleats too.
Yeah,
in
it was
cleats.
Really it's really bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't do anything about it, and then I was finally on vacation in Kuwait. I think we were like visiting family or friends from overseas, and I was like, my mom was like, "We're gonna get this taken care of. We're here. It's gonna be cheaper. Let's go."
Yeah.
So they took me to the hospital. They numbed my toe. They put a shot in my toe and numbed it. I was awake for this whole procedure. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was awake for mine too. It is just a toe, but yeah, it
but
definitely
knock
was.
me out.
Yeah.
So he like numbs my toe and basically just ended up cutting off half of my toenail, not like vertically, but like horizontally. So now I just have like a really skinny toenail on that toe. And like a weird bump on it. It didn't ever heal right because like the ingrown toenail was so severe they had to like I don't know what happened, but yeah, She doesn't get ingrown toenails on that side anymore.
Oh, that's good. Lucky you, because
Yeah.
I definitely like am prone to ingrown
Oh, I still get them
toenails.
on my other foot. I get them on,
Yeah.
but I'm just a lot more like I know exactly when it's
Yeah.
happening, and I just pop the corner
Yep.
out
Get
as
it.
soon
Get
as
fucking
it
in there.
starts to
Yeah.
happen.
Totally.
Yeah, not playing soccer
Well,
has been extremely beneficial
dude,
to
yeah, I
that too.
definitely in being in athletic shoes, like,
Yeah,
makes them worse. Like,
definitely.
will make you more likely to, yeah, have one.
Just exacerbate the issue. Did you find
I op
anything interesting about the church?
I just opened up this Mormon stories,
Oh.
and basically it's a list of,
Oh, all the things that
like,
the Mormon church lied about.
lied about,
Like
yeah,
Joseph Smith didn't drink alcohol. He just
when they
owned a bar.
literally know. Yeah,
They know
no,
that he
they
owned a bar.
yeah. This says he also falsely claimed to be able to translate ancient languages to English,
Yeah.
and people believed him. I'm
Well, because
like,
like the way that the story goes is like he goes to his wife. He's like, "Look, God spoke to me, and
oh, I bet he did,
and
Joseph.
he wrote all these things. Look, all right." And so his wife, being a crafty little lady, was like, "Did he? Okay." And so she took those things. She took them, hid them from him, and said, "Oh my God, I can't find them. You need to translate it again."
Oh,
And so he did it again, and this time it was different. Obviously,
uh-huh,
it
yeah,
wasn't
duh,
exactly the same.
duh.
An explanation for that. He said he can't do it. He wasn't given the same message twice.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So his
Oh
wife tried
my
to
god.
prove him wrong, which is, I think, fucking hilarious. She knew he was a storyteller. She knew
Yeah,
he was a
completely.
storyteller.
She could have stopped so much bullshit.
Well, no, and it's hilarious because he basically, I don't want to say created this whole religion so he could have multiple wives, but that was kind of a weird
He
thing to add
created
in
this
there.
whole
Like, that was just kind of a weird thing to throw in there.
yeah. Very, very, very strange.
He said, I'm making up a name. Her name's Vera. Vera. God said we must have other women in the house. He told me.
So weird.
Like, anyways, and I don't want to diss anyone who's a devout Mormon. If you love Joseph Smith, good for you.
No,
Personally, I don't think a guy like that is an upstanding guy. To me.
Yeah.
To me. To me. Because that wasn't actually him. The guy who founded Scientology wrote more science fiction novels than anyone in the world. He has like the record for most science fiction novels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about that.
Well, obviously his church is
He's
fake.
telling stories.
So if you're just do better, please do better. You don't need to do that. You really don't. But also what I've been thinking about. So pretend like God is real, right?
Yeah.
God is a real guy, and when you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell. All right, that's a real thing, and that's definite. And we have proof. We know that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Me, somehow I make it into heaven, right? Somehow I'm there. I have some very fucking questions, some very serious questions for that guy.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Me too.
well,
Why do babies die?
no, literally,
Why
like,
does racism exist?
why do babies get bone cancer? Like, arguably the most painful cancer to ever exist.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do women
Why
get
do
raped?
Why do cops kill black people?
Why
Why
are
do cops
black
kill
trans
anyone?
women? Why do you put
Yeah.
people in the wrong body?
Yeah, why do you
Why do you do that?
That's a good one. Why do you put people in the wrong body? It's fucked
Why
up,
are you
dude.
doing that? It's like
They're really struggling.
You're causing a lot of issues down here. If you just put them in the right body from jump, none of this would have been happening.
Yeah.
Like, literally. And so I personally, the God as he exists now and as I understand him from the Bible does not seem like an all powerful, wonderful being. It seems like a very nasty, evil person who drowned the entire planet and saved one family.
I know,
Saved
dude,
one
did
family.
you know that across most like ancient indigenous religions, there is mention of a massive flood? Like they are like 99% sure that the earth actually did almost completely flood. At some point, I don't know when it was, thousands of years ago.
But other
But
people survived somehow. It wasn't just Noah, so
Yeah.
that
Well,
story is
right. It
obviously
wasn't the
untrue.
entire. It wasn't the right. It wasn't the entire Earth.
Like a tsunami that
Scientifically.
happened in one place, and they're like the Great Flood. The Great Flood, and it was just a tsunami. It was like a world event, like an asteroid hit the ocean, a bunch of tsunamis happened. I believe that.
Dang! Imagine like a bunch of tsunamis hitting at once. That's pretty crazy.
I am right next to the beach, girl. I am in danger.
I know
quit.
you're in danger, girl.
I'm going first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything were to happen on the Gulf Coast, like it would probably get here in like an hour because like Texas is just so flat.
My God, it is so fucking flat.
Yeah. But I was going to tell you something too that I learned in world religions, and this is this is not real anymore. They denounced it in like the early 2000s, but it's a story that has stuck with me for clearly at least 10 years. So the way that the Mormons explained darker skinned people, black people, brown people.
Oh yeah, because didn't God land in America? God's from America?
Yeah, allegedly. Yes. He's from Utah. God is from Utah.
They think humanity originated in America. That's what they believe, I think. Or something like that. I don't remember. But I do know
that is factually incorrect.
Just categorically, please.
Yeah, like literally, like, no, it's definitely not it. But basically, there was a story, like I said, it's been gone for a couple decades because they probably realize how fucking ridiculous it sounds. But so basically there's like a big round table up in heaven, and like everybody's there, like God's there, Jesus is there.
Table?
Yeah, period. It's round. You know, Gabriel is there, Michael is there, all like the head angels. And guess who's also there? Because he's still in heaven.
Lucifer there?
Lucifer's there. He's at the round table.
He was invited.
Yes, he was. He was still a part of the gang at this time.
Oh, and then he was like, "Hey, God, maybe we shouldn't treat humans like angels."
No. No, this is what happened. God takes a pole. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna create a planet down there.
Yeah.
It's gonna have human beings on it.
It's gonna kind of look like us a little bit.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
They're gonna live on this floating rock, and I'm trying to decide if I should give them free will or if I should just, make them obey me and my belief system." And basically Jesus is like, we should give them free will. They should be allowed to make their own decisions, and hopefully they come back to us. And Lucifer is like, I don't agree. I think we should make them listen to us.
Yeah.
And they go back and forth for a bit. And then
I don't want to say, Jesus, you were wrong, but not here. I gotta be honest.
Well, God finally says, you know what, Jesus, you're right. We're gonna give them free will.
And Lucifer, fuck you.
And Lucifer, fuck you. And everyone who supported Lucifer, fuck you too. You're going down to hell too. So Lucifer and anybody who supported him
there
in this one conversation, in this one decision, everyone that followed Lucifer.
God, bad guy.
Yeah. Well, get this. No, get this.
Lucifer and get the tea.
This is how the Mormons explained people that were not white.
Okay.
Everyone who didn't pick a side went down to earth and was brown, black, dark-skinned. That is, yes. What?
That actually makes a lot of sense. I've never heard a better explanation for black people in my life. And they actually do need one. They need I need an explanation for why they exist.
Right.
So,
like,
oh my God.
As if it's not that every single person originated in Africa. Life came from Africa, not from Utah.
There's fossil records. There's science to back this up. Caves, paintings, if you will.
They literally, actually, that's a good question. How do we know that life originated in Africa?
Well, I actually watched a documentary on it. It is fossils. They have a ton of fossil records of humans.
DNA reveal,
so basically, you can see we find older and older fossils of the evolution. So we have found fossils of whatever each stage of humanity until we got to
before
humans,
we got to Homo sapien.
Yes, and then once Homo sapiens happened, you started finding those skeletons everywhere else because they started traveling. But when it comes down to like finding the root of what it was, it's almost it's all from Africa. The original skulls are
There
from
you
Africa.
go. There you
Period.
go. Not
But
Utah,
what
contrary
is
to popular Mormon belief
what
or
is
wherever.
what is the reason that the Bible gives that Lucifer was cast out of heaven?
Um,
Because I remember thinking it was like he had a disagreement with God and was like,
yeah,
no.
rebelled against the plan's reliance on agency and proposed and altered plans to negated agency.
What is agency? So free will?
I think so.
Okay, so he
I,
wanted them to just be like, no, be little puppets, bro. Make a
uh,
little show. So he basically said, don't give them free will. They're gonna be crazy as hell. And he said, great, you're gonna deal with those
no,
ones.
this says that he desired to be God, not to follow God. So
Is that what happened? Are we sure? Have
no,
we talked? Have we asked Lucy his side?
have we heard Lucy out?
No, because here's the thing. When I'm up in heaven and I have all those questions, I'm gonna be like, okay, I would like to talk to Lucifer now, and I will make my decision on where I go based
Okay.
off of that.
They're also saying that Lucifer he was cast down while Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. Or shortly before.
And so he's the snake.
Oh yeah. You
Good.
knew that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like also like God, you could have stopped that.
And period. All you had to do was say, "Don't take the
You could
apple."
have just like, with your little finger going zip and zipped
Yeah.
him and just zipped him out of the tree.
No. Cuts to God reaching out his hand and it going millions of miles down to grab
Picking him
the
up
apple.
off the tree.
Like the Mrs. Incredible or whichever one of them can do the.
Yeah, super stretchy arm.
We definitely need to do some more of
I
this
feel
for
like
sure.
Lucy's been painted in a bad light. I'm not a Satanist. Let me be very fucking clear. I'm talking about Lucifer, not Satan. But I do
Yeah.
believe like that story is painted one way to make it seem like it's such a terrible person when I don't know. I bet if you look at original translations, it's a different story. I
Yeah,
bet if
you're
you look at
probably
original
right.
translations, it is a different story. Because I know I've heard a different version from somebody who was like a religious scholar.
A theology, or that's actually, I guess, a study of God.
Whatever, but
Yeah, that would be definitely a very interesting.
because like if you look at the translations of the Bible, in the 50s is the first time homosexual ever appeared in the Bible, and they weren't even
Mhm.
talking about homosexuals. They were talking about sodomizing children.
Yeah,
They said,
child
don't
molesters.
sodomize little boys. Or
Yep.
don't rape each other, is basically what they were saying. They said, don't rape each other, don't rape children. And they took that as, don't be gay.
Yeah.
Because what happened is they were in Sodom and Gomorrah, and some angels showed up, and they were, I don't really know the exact story, but one group of people was trying to humiliate this angel. And so they were going to go over there and rape him. And that's more or less, I think. I could be fucking. I'm loosely near the story. I'm probably not totally correct, but that's more or less how the story went. And then the translations now say like a man shall not lie with a man.
Yeah.
But if you look at like the original story of Sodom and Gomorrah, it wasn't about gayness. It was about trying to humiliate this person through rape.
Rape. Right. Exactly.
So I'm so sorry I didn't give a trigger warning for that. I wasn't trying to trigger anyone. That was just a story about the Bible. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, the church is a wild place. So
I mean, I
crazy.
feel like we can do a part 2 for this.
We could, and let me leave it off with this. So, in the New Testament or the
Yeah.
Old Testament, I think it's the Old Testament. The first line is mistranslated. So the Hebrew translation, the one that's in the Bible says "in the beginning," right? In the beginning. The Hebrew translation means in a beginning. So not necessarily the only beginning, not necessarily the only planet, but in a beginning.
Wow.
So that first line is mistranslated, and it changes the entire context of the story to me.
Yeah. I mean,
Because it's
it
not
just
the
takes.
beginning.
Yeah, it takes the. What's the word? But like it being like finite.
Yeah, the
It
finality.
takes that out of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It takes that out of it. And it also makes it so that all of these fucking crazy Christians can't say my way or the highway. My way's the only way. No, it's not.
In a beginning. In a
Your way is
beginning.
a way.
It's a way.
A way, which is
A
great.
way.
Take
And one
it.
more thing.
Take your
And
way.
one more thing. Because
Yeah.
God is like, oh, free will. You guys have it, right? Here's my thing, right? Christians, we know that we have free will, right? That's how we operate. God is not an interventionist God. He gives you free will because humans are allowed to make their own decisions. Correct. That's why Eve ate the apple and women are fucking terrible, you know? So
That's why we have periods. That's why
yeah,
periods
that's why
exist.
childbirth
Thanks,
can kill
Eve.
you. That's why childbirth can kill you. That's their reasoning behind it. They said, oh yeah, no, because women are bad, so they're being punished. That's actually how the whole thing is framed. Childbirth is punishment for women.
Right.
That's actually what God said. He said, you're in trouble. Now this is going to hurt.
Forever.
Wow.
Every
forever.
woman ever. Everyone with a uterus.
One lady did one thing one time, and now all women have to potentially die. You know how many women have died during childbirth? So many.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, he says free will, free will, free will. It drives me crazy when these people are like giving all of their accomplishments to God, and they're like, oh, I prayed for this. I'm like, I want you to know that there were people in Jewish concentration camps praying to not die. Why did he choose you? Oh, right. He didn't. He fucking didn't. He doesn't listen to anyone. Not a one. If you're praying and things are working, chances are it's because you're manifesting these things for yourself and you're doing the things that require yourself to get them done. And I think if God gives you that motivation, wonderful. But let's not sit here and insult everybody else whose prayers go unanswered, because that is just fucking insulting to me.
And everyone else, the people who succeed without prayer and the people who don't with prayer in any capacity. Like I saw something that was like, you know, Damar Hamlin, the guy that had a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, he was wearing this like jacket. It was like kind of, I mean, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I could see why really crazy Christians might be upset about that. It was like a depiction of Jesus on the cross on the back, and it wasn't like a traditional one. But there were people that were like, how dare you wear something like that when God saved your life? And I'm like, his life was saved because there's a multi-billion-dollar corporation behind him with the best medical staff in the fucking world and the most resources.
Correct me if I'm wrong. God watched his son die a slow, painful death on a cross. But Damar Hamlin, he said, not him though. Not him. Not him.
Exactly.
Like he's just God's chosen. Please, that is so insulting to everybody else on the planet who is suffering and wanting him to help. That's insulting. Yep, please.
Totally.
Let's take a bong rip to end it.
I'm down. Let's do it.
But yeah, this is why I was all fired up this morning, because I was reading about why they don't tax churches.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons is because taxing a faith or a religion is one of the easiest ways to wipe it out. You know what I mean? Make someone pay to have a faith. That's one of the easiest ways to wipe it out. And in the early settings, totally, I get that.
Yeah.
But something that
look what you did, forefathers. Look what you fucking did.
Something they keep bringing up, right, is the reason that they don't tax churches is because there needs to be a separation of church and state.
And period.
Okay. And I'm laughing at that because where is the fucking separation? They don't get taxes, but they get to pay politicians and lobby them. If taxes can't be, if churches can't be taxed, they should not be able to do any kind of political lobbying at all, ever. I completely agree. If they don't pay taxes, they should not be allowed to give money to politicians, to policies, or anything.
Yes, affect our politics in any fucking way, whether that
they
be
should not. But you know that the church gives so much money to politicians. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fucking weird.
It's sick.
God,
it's actually sick. Do you like? Was Obama Islamic?
No, I think
did he swear in the Bible?
Oh yeah.
Because the literal president has to swear in the Bible. Like, where is the separation of church and state? I'm so confused. Like, it just seems like this thing that they say because they don't want to get taxed. Because there is no actual real separation aside from that. We have them in our public buildings. We have them in our public schools. We have, like, Christianity is quite literally everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, in God we trust.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic,
one nation,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty. I stopped saying that in the 8th grade. I thought it was so weird.
I stopped saying it later too. I also we would do there was always a morning prayer as well in high school, and I stopped doing this. At first I did it just for show. I never really cared, but then I stopped doing it. Yeah, I'm like, this is stupid. I don't believe in this. Cheers. I love you.
I love you.
Amazing.
All right, guys. Well, this is gonna wrap it up. Hope we didn't hurt any feelings. And I hope if we did, that you can see it from the perspective that we are bringing it from. Didn't mean any offense. I just think that it's good to be critical of these giant entities that are hoarding billions of dollars.
Period.
And cheers. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye. We love you.